What's up everybody, just a bit of a disclaimer before we start the video. This video is a month late because, well, I got hacked. A full video will be in the description below, but essentially, by the time I was up and ready to get editing again, a couple weeks has passed and there was like 3 Palmon patches. They added VIP 18. For all I know, Linda has the most cracked account, even more so now. But I thought I would share this video regardless, and hopefully you guys still enjoy. This is Linda, the most powerful player I've encountered in Palmon Survival. Boasting VIP 16 at a staggering 600 million power, she can win guild events by herself. Trust me, I would know, as in the past I've fallen victim to her in Sandstorm twice, where my guild suffered their first and second defeats in the event. This left me with a ton of questions about her and her account. How did she find Palmon Survival? How long has she been playing? And how much has she spent? So I ended up asking her a ton of questions, which she was generous enough to respond to. In today's video, sponsored by the makers of Palmon Survival, we'll be learning about one of the most powerful players and taking an inside look at her account. The first thing I asked her was, how did you discover Palmon Survival? Did a friend ask you to play it, or did you see it in an advertisement? She said none of both, just random browsing in the Google shop and saw. So she was bored one day and scrolled through the Google shop and decided to download the game. I mean, that's pretty crazy seeing as there's a ton of games on the Google shop, but I guess the Palmon aesthetic caught her eye. I was curious, so I asked how long has she been playing Palmon Survival, and she said since September. It's currently the end of December, so that means she's grown to 600 million power in the span of 3 to 4 months, which is absolutely crazy. Next, I was curious what her favorite Palmon was and why. Maybe it was because it was the strongest, or because of the Palmon design, and she answered with the Lynx, the Earth Cap. It has beautiful modeling and also beautiful damage. So it's a mix of the two. Lynx being a strong Earth type damage dealer, and has a super cool design with its guns. The next question I asked was, you're one of the strongest players in this bracket. Was that a goal of yours, or did it just happen naturally as you started getting into the game? To this, she said, I got a habit of spending if I'm enjoying the game. Not really a goal, lol, I like collecting them. Them is referring to the Palmon. So she's such a big player in Palmon Survival because she's trying to collect them all, and to do so, you definitely need to dig deep into your pockets. Next, I asked, do you know how much you've spent on your account so far? If you're not sure about the total, how much do you think you spend in a typical month? I also said that if you don't want to be specific, that's totally fine, just a range could work, because, you know, finances are sometimes a topic that people are uncomfortable talking about. But she responded with, not sure, but I've been max VIP for a while. Daily is like 2k. Total probably over 60k now. Keep in mind I did ask these questions in late November, so it's probably like 70 or 80k by now. So that's absolutely insane. Yeah, since September she started playing this game, and 70, 80k, spending 2k daily, that is just probably a huge reason why she's the strongest player I've played against in Palmon Survival. Just an absolutely crazy amount of investment that puts my $100 a week to shame. Next, I asked her where she's from, and she's from China, which makes sense because she has Chinese characters in her in-game name, so that tracks. Next, I asked her, do you play any other games outside of Palmon Survival? And she said she's actually a big PC gamer. She plays a couple mobile games like Withering Wave and Love and Deep Space, but for PC she plays PUBG, Call of Duty, Ark Survival Evolve, Red Dead Redemption 2, Dead by Daylight, Black Desert Online, Lost Ark, and more. So she's actually super versed in the gaming sphere, specifically in PC games, with a ton of first-person shooters and action games in her lineup. She's definitely in the know in gamer culture. I then asked her, what are you currently working on in your account, and what are you planning on working on in the future? And she basically just said, growing the account and getting all the Palmon they release until one day I feel like I'm no longer interested. I sometimes get those moments in some games. Which hopefully she doesn't get it for Palmon anytime soon, because she's super nice to interact with and has been pushing the boundaries of what the game can be. For my alliance, for example, we've pretty much gone unchallenged in Sandstorm and Guild vs Guild, but since we've lost to our guild in Sandstorm and got super close to losing in Guild vs Guild, there's now a new goal, and that's to improve and adapt to be better and perhaps, you know, win if a round 3 of Sandstorm were to ever happen. The last question I asked was, do you have anything you want to say to the viewers watching, and what are your biggest tips to them? Well, free to play in this game is possible, but it takes effort and a lot of time. Best is to ask around for people who more experience on what to focus, how to build a team, etc. It will save a lot of resources for growing. Also, check chat frequently to know what to do. Even if you don't talk in the chat, it's always important to know what's the guild's plan and to get small tips. Communication is super important in the game for big events like server versus server and Ember Wars. Have a habit of checking battle reports, then you'll know your weakness and where to improve. So yeah, a lot of insight from the interview with Linda. Super thoughtful into this game, to be honest. You know, sometimes whales, they just spend the money and that's how they get ahead, but you could definitely tell she's done her research and is pretty passionate about the game. Now let us get into the actual account review. Alrighty, we are now in the account of Linda. This was screen shared by her. Again, shout out to Linda for answering the questions as well as sending over the screen share. Power 602.3 million power when this was recorded. 8.3 million kills from server 64. An absolutely crazy amount of stats there. This is the power breakdown where you could see it's mostly Palmon power at 254 million Palmon power, but still you got a 44 million building power, 36 million tech power, 163 million Armigo power. There's some guild tech power, VIP power at 15 million. And yeah, battles lost and won. You could see that she definitely battles a lot at 10.7 thousand battles won and 1.4 thousand battles lost with an 88.4% win ratio. Resources per hour, you could see that. You could see the hospital capacity and the rest of the stats if you want to here. Next, it's time to look at the VIP level, and yes, of course, she is indeed VIP 16, but it's not only the VIP 16, it's the 10 million VIP, 10.1 million VIP, which is absolutely insane that she has that much VIP. Then you could see the inventory, a lot of just chests and stuff stacked up here, scrolling through. Even a whale, you could see that she's pretty low in legendary love reefs, which, you know, I mean, who isn't? And as we continue scrolling through here, 175 Palmon spheres, 699 UR Omni tokens, and, you know, just scrolling through the inventory here. The resources, this is the resources on her account. You could see that she has a ton of healing as well as training, and, you know, a couple building speed ups there as well, but 0 universals, pretty much 0 universals and 0 research speed ups. So definitely has been speeding up her research. And look at the equipment. Oh my goodness, that is a ton of equipment. Legendary equipment on, I feel like, is all of her main squads. And then on top of that, she has, you know, maxed out pieces of gear here. And just a ton of ascended equipment, which would take so much Opus Pearls that I don't even want to think about how many Opus Pearls that is. If we take a look at the Palmon roster, it's maxed mythicals here at, oh my goodness, that is a ton of mythicals. So, I mean, it costs a ton to even unlock those, and everyone has, like, pretty much perfect triple S stats or quadruple S stats here. I wish I could see what she's choosing as the traits, but I'm assuming they're, you know, the classic really strong traits: health, defense, attack, all that kind of stuff. And then we could take a look at her achievements. Critical hit done, it's over 9,000 done. Meow mashup, you know, is up there too. So a ton of UR Omni tokens used in achievements, and I feel like that's really important to make sure that you max out your achievements there. You can see that the Armigo hut is fully maxed out at, and she actually has Armigo level 9 already. That is, I didn't even know that. I didn't know she had Armigo level 9. That's crazy, and that's where all the speed ups went, man. That's where all the speed ups went. It went towards that Armigo level 9. And now she's currently working on finishing Palmon. She finished Armigo tech, finished development and growth. Yeah, she's stacked. She's almost done technology in general, to be honest, which is crazy to see. And then you can see that she got all of the stats from Super Armigo. The things that she's actually skipping out on is like training a little bit faster and healing a little bit faster, but she has so much training and healing speed ups that she's like, oh, I'd rather use the electricity and stuff and guild tokens on other things. And these are the Palmon squads. She has the water type Palmon squad, which is all of the water types in the game, and Meowdame in there as well. This is the electric type Palmon squad. And you have to keep in mind, when this is being recorded, there isn't that 7th legendary Palmon, UR Palmon, that you can invest in. So that's why there's at least one SSR Palmon in there. This one being Volt for the electric type Palmon squad. Just because Linda is in the middle of Season 1 and the other 7th Palmon unlocks during the off-season. And then this is the fire type Palmon squad. And then finally, the earth type Palmon squad. But I will tell you, even with those SSR Palmon squads, yeah, she smacks in the field, bro. Like we couldn't capture the 4 structure she was in pretty much during Sandstorm, and yeah, that was just tough. These are the camp skins. She currently has 4 or 5 camp skins if you count the one that you get for Bullymon, and then 3 March skins as well. So, and overall, just super stacked accounts. And yeah, she is just so powerful, and really interesting to see what those Kraken accounts look like. So yeah, that's all we have for the Linda account review. This is the first account review we did, so if you missed anything, be sure to put it in the comments below so that I can add that to any other accounts that we review in the future. And if this video was helpful in any way, be sure to like the video, share it out to your guildmates, and subscribe for more Palmon content. Our sub goal is now 500 subscribers, and once we hit that goal, we'll be launching a coaching service for Ploto Palmon members. But in the meanwhile, we've gotten questions and video requests in the Discord server, so if you want to be part of the Discord community where you can reach out to me or anyone else in the server for any questions or suggestions, feel free to join the Discord server linked in the description below. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about Linda's account, and if you guys know any other accounts I should review in the future, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!